I'm just amazed you got Simon to come in and pose for you.
I know, he's very
it's
good.
just
He's
fantastic.
been so patient, isn't he?
So we were just talking there a little bit that the fact that this is a window that people always look out for at Christmas, any time of year, you really do put a huge amount of work. How long did you say the Paddy's Day one took you?
It took about 3 days.
Ah, right.
Well, it took about a day. I robbed all my husband's jackets for Enda and Trump.
Nice.
And between pinching his clothes and things, yeah, about 3 days.
And when it comes to the decisions, is it sort of clear to you before you start? Okay, this is what I'm going to put in, or is it really it just grows like you said? Oh, this will work.
There's usually something topical going on,
right?
You know, in the political world, and like that kind of starts it off, takes priority,
right? And
then you can just build on that,
right?
You know.
And obviously, I would think you lean slightly towards the left. I would think in regard to, it's not like your windows sort of saying hooray for the system and hooray for the government.
No,
there tends to be a recognition of what needs to be said more than everything's grand.
I'm definitely towards the left.
You're towards the left of Bernie Sanders, a little bit towards the left of Jeremy Corbyn. But that affects too. I was trying to think of how over time, especially in the early days of newspapers and even in theatre, just how effective any kind of statement can be in any format, whether it be a cartoon or whether it be a drawing or, you know, somebody's standing up on a soapbox. But this, when you think about it, this is particularly kind of subtle because you're on a main street, you know, you're walking by a shop and suddenly, rather than it being like curtains and cushions scattered, there's a Simon Harrison bed being looked after by Mrs. Doyle and Trump and Kenny are having a chat and
like the thing is, like it's like commercial suicide because there's not.
Well, Simon Harris duvet probably go down very well with people. I think you could.
Wouldn't think that I sold a roll of wallpaper. I sold any fabrics. I don't know what they think about the window. I think people love it. I mean, you did win. Let's acknowledge the fact that you won the best window display in this year's Paddy's. And I think any time we would have a competition, I'm sure you'd probably win it because, as I said, any season I've gone by, if there isn't like a Christmas or a Halloween, there's usually something going through the system that you've said, okay, I want to make a little point about this, and then my imagination runs right. 3 o'clock in the morning is when I get some of my best ideas.
That's true of every artist. I think if you do it 3 in the afternoon, there's something wrong. It has to be 3 o'clock at night.
In the morning,
big time. That's when the witching hour happens. That's when you really get your head expands into all sorts of thoughts. So how long would you say you from the very start when you moved in here, was this always a kind of a like I would say a tradition really at this point, but was it early on that you decided, you know what, I'm going to use the window for more than just selling a cushion?
The window is kind of like the window is just there and I had to use it, but well, no, I actually like doing my own interior displays and things, but at Christmas, Easter and Mother's Day and Halloween and all that, like, you know, I actually do it. I think I do it for the kids, but then.
But was there a first time? Can you remember? Like, was there something that sparked it, or you know, was it? I mean, shop window displays are traditional, but yours aren't traditional. You've got an edge to yours, and they're far beyond the Call of Duty. So they're wonderful kind of little treats as you're taking a stroll by.
Well, I think I actually get so annoyed about things like political things that like I use the windows.
Have you got punch holes in the walls around here anywhere we should check, or any kicks in the wall, or skirting board ripped off, or
oh God, well I hope.
But I would think too that you know, I think it's one of the great Irish sort of tools when it comes to dealing with tragedy and stupidity and you know, political shenanigans a la Trump and all the rest is humour. I think humour says a lot more than, you know, a waving finger and somebody shouting out facts and figures. I think there's both an acceptance to a degree of what's going on, but it's I think it's far more likely to resonate with people when they can laugh and sort of, you know, hold it up to the light and say, this is nonsense. What are we thinking here? How could we accept this particular?
Maybe everyone else thinks like that too. But like, I definitely have a warped sense of humour, and like, when I hear half the statements that are coming out, with like, I can actually kind of see a funny take on it, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to beat Trump at his own game because he's kind of, you know, making it you know, where he almost you know, if you were think of him in a ridiculous situation, he's probably done it already. It's not like you can say, what if Trump said this, like, and then you find out, oh, he did say that.
He did say that.
You don't have to make that up. That's exactly what he said.
And see, as well as giving him shamrock from Ireland, we gave him some bricks to start the wall off.
Well, that's very. We are a generous lot, and we are famous for our building. So you know, I think the idea that you'd give him a hand and that front is just inevitable that the Irish would do that. So I'll say big congratulations on the Paddy's win. It's always a treat to see what you've come up with. I'm just curious, you know, as with the world itself, you never know what's around the corner. So who knows what will get your juices kind of flowing again in anger and the creativity. And I'll when I'm walking by at 3 o'clock in the morning, especially, I'll listen out for noises and saws. And
it's just going to be chickens next. Chickens and eggs.
Oh, there we go. Easter. Yes. I'm sure we can find something. There's a lot to be said for. We see it. Would you go anywhere near religion? See, religion's a tough one because it means a lot to some people, but I think more and more people realise whatever about religion, the church is not exactly the most.
No, I steer clear of religion.
Yeah. It's kind of and I think we all should in every aspect of our lives.
I agree with you.